Hello everyone, it's Rough Start here, and today I will be covering my recommended No Man's Sky graphic mods. The base game is already quite beautiful. However, that doesn't mean it can't use a little help. I will be breaking this video down into 3 distinct parts. The first will cover what I consider to be a must-have mod that everyone should install. The second part will cover my recommended space graphic mods. The third and final part will cover the mods that I use to modify planets. So, without further ado, let's hop right in. The first mod everyone should install is Find LOD. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the term LOD, it stands for Level of Detail, and generally refers to how much detail of an object is rendered based on your distance from the object. The core of this mod is to increase the LOD of objects and terrain within the game. In the vanilla game, oftentimes you will encounter slow texture loading, which leaves you seeing those ugly, low-resolution textures that are normally used when rendering distant terrain or objects. This mod aims to remove those occurrences. The second effect is that objects will begin rendering at further distances, helping reduce objects from appearing next to you as you run, also known as pop-in. Furthermore, if your graphics card is powerful enough and you can play on ultra settings, this mod will double the draw distance and increase the number of objects spawned on planets. The reason I say this mod is for everyone is because it doesn't change anything about the game itself, but it just improves rendering. So no matter how diehard of a fan you are of the vanilla game, this is still worth installing. In this next section, I will be covering how to improve the look and feel of space. My first recommendation is Clean Space Overhaul. This is a collection of some of my favorite space mods. It may come as no surprise, but it aims to clean up space, and it does so by greatly tuning down and tweaking a lot of the objects and colors of space, as to make it feel more realistic. Some of the changes this collection of mods make are removing a ton of clutter such as speed lines, trade lines, the pulsating plasma, space dust. In addition, it tones down the natural glow of space. It even goes as far as overhauling the spawn of asteroids by greatly reducing their spawn frequency, and when they do spawn, each asteroid spawns further apart. This overhaul goes a long way to improving the look and feel of space. But to me, it stops one step short, and that is, it doesn't make space black. In real life, space is dark, and that's okay. The black empty void is part of the appeal. Well, in order to bring space to the next level, I recommend you install black space with nebulas. To do so, you must first delete CSO darkspace.pack. But don't feel bad. The mod author of Clean Space Overhaul even recommends doing this on his own mod page to begin with. Now, with both Clean Space Overhaul and black space with nebulas installed, your space should be looking perfect. Now, with the look of space complete, we will be moving on to the next section, in which I will be covering the mods I use to enhance the look and feel of planets within No Man's Sky. My first recommendation is to install Duds Sky Colors. This may not come as any surprise, but this mod pack aims to add a lot more variety to No Man's Sky by greatly increasing the number of colors planets, flora, minerals, and even oceans can spawn with. It also removes some of the color spawning limitations, such as making it so icy planets no longer have to be white. Some other examples this mod affects are increasing the different types of sunlight colors, as well as sunset and sunrise possibilities. Please note that this mod does change the colors in space. In my testing, it drastically brightens the nebulas. If you're already like the way space looks after installing the mods from the previous section, just go ahead and delete the spacecolors.pack. However, there are 2 major changes I want to inform you of before you install this mod pack. First, this mod changes the possible color options for everything in the game. And since the worlds are procedurally created each time they are loaded and not saved as static resources, If you add this mod to a current playthrough, it will change the color of all of your discovered planets. For instance, if you have a perfect, lush world with green grass and blue water, making it look like Earth, it will almost certainly won't after installing this mod pack. Just keep that in mind. However, if you uninstall the mod, the colors will go back to normal, so there is no real harm in trying. Second, this mod drastically increases darkness. That means at nighttime, you will only be able to see what is lit up. This is not necessarily a con. I have been enjoying the darker nights and darker bases myself, and mods that, and for lack of a better phrase, darken darkness are quite popular in games like Skyrim. It incentivizes you to use your flashlight and to install lights throughout your base. However, if this is a problem for you, don't let it stop you from installing this mod pack. It is modular, and you can stop the darker nights by simply deleting night sky colors.pack. With this mod pack installed, there is not much more that needs to be changed. However, there is one more mod that I would recommend installing. This is Exo's Ground Fix. This mod greatly increases the look of the natural fauna in No Man's Sky. One such example being grass. It does quite a few tricks that make the world's fauna more dense. The first is to simply make grass spawn in denser patches. Another trick it uses is making the dimensions of grass slightly wider, which makes them fill in more of the ground, further increasing the density. Finally, it changes the grass placement, allowing it to grow on slopes, making certain landscapes feel less bare. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing my current graphics mod list. Did anything in the list interest you? Let me know in the comments if you plan on checking any of them out. As it has been requested, I've started working on a mod creation tutorial. There is a lot to cover though, so it will take some time to produce, and it will likely have to come out as a video series. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, and if you are interested in No Man's Sky modded content, feel free to subscribe, as I have more modded content in the works. Well, that's all for now. As always, thanks for watching, and remember, just because you had a rough start doesn't mean you should give up.